Class, welcome to Marketing 201. I hope you find this class exciting. Please don't be intimidated when the very first thing you look at is, oh no, I have to come up with a great idea. Um, you do need an idea for the class, but I don't want you to be intimidated by that. So the first week in this very fast summer quarter is going to be built on coming up with some type of idea based on customer needs and wants. So the goal of this really is to understand the potential customer. And again, remember, the idea is simply for you to walk through the various phases of the course, not necessarily one that you're going to develop. If you already have an idea that something you actually might want to develop, or just think it would be a fun idea to explore, then you're all the better. But if you don't, again, don't worry about it. The last time I taught this, which was spring quarter, there was like two who came in with an idea, and all the rest did not. And they all came out with some really fun ideas. And I will share some of those after we talk through this a little bit on some of the creative things that they came up with. So this class moves very fast. So Jeff and I will be very responsive to, as co-teachers, to grading, because everything is sequential. You need to do every step. So I hope you'll find these interesting. I'm a visual learner, and this is very much a visual course in that I don't ask you to write long papers. I just want you to focus on trying to develop these certain things. I mean, you have to write a little bit, but it's more your reaction to things, what you thought you learned from it, how you felt this was a good guide, that kind of thing. So let's look at the resources. You have the book. If you have the physical book, I encourage you to have that because it's just visually so much easier to work with. But if you have the online book, no problem. The book is an approach to developing ideas that are going to go a little bit beyond, in some ways, what we might be doing and should be doing in this class, because it does some testing and things that we won't physically actually be able to do, but it teaches that process. The first part of the journey is the part where you identify your customer and your customer jobs, as they call it. So I have a couple articles I'm going to go back to, but I want to talk about the customer jobs first. When building out your assignments, the customer is your guide. So when they talk about customer jobs, we're not talking about that they work at a beauty salon or they work here or they work there. That is their physical job. We're talking more, what do you want to get done? What are you trying to do? It can be as simple as I do archery. So I want to build a backdrop in my backyard, but how do I do that safely? There's nothing out there. I do gardening, and I'm trying to water in a way that'll make it easier, or I need some kind of product that's going to get rid of the slugs or something along those lines. Or I'm a student and um, I want to be able to share information more easily. Or I'm an outdoor person and I want to be able to show movies outside when I'm camping or in my backyard, which, by the way, was one of the ideas. One of the students replicated a drive-in movie by adding on an exterior battery to allow movies to be projected through your headlights. Talk about a fun drive-in movie experience. So anyway, that was a fun, very creative idea that somebody came up with in my last class. So, and it all came from a need that she loved to be outdoors and watch movies. Another person took that to a different level and instead created an attachment for any cell phone that would allow for really quality projection of a movie. So these are the kind of pain points. Another person said, I love to ski and snowboard, but I want to be able to understand how to make my performance, how to enhance my performance on various runs. So he came up with a GPS kind of tracking that allowed him to see exactly how he was handling the run. He could download it after and look at it, and then the ski runs would actually use his product to show expertly how to do it. So he could compare how his run was, or her run, it was a he who developed it, with those created by the ski resort of the perfect run, to help him improve how he could go faster and do it more efficiently. So these are fun things. He loves to snowboard, so he thought of something that'd be cool. So think about who you are and what you love, which is why down here, one of the very first assignments I have you do is interest and audience exercise. This is not any, I mean, these are your interests. So again, it's what audiences are you aware of? Don't try to create something for an audience you know nothing about. Think about audiences you do have. So that's a really important element of that. Is what are you already interested in? So if you're already interested in something, it'll help you come up with it. So again, we're not looking for that perfect thing. I'll tell you, both of those ideas, or three of them I think I told you about, did not start the way they ended at the end of the course. They were very sketchy, a little bit weird, and they didn't fit. And throughout the course, we refined them. And I worked with each of the students to refine them into what they became by narrowing their audience, narrowing what they're trying to get done, so that they could really create something that was great. One of the students has a Mancoon, a large cat, and none of the cat carriers fit this cat comfortably. And she didn't want to go to a dog carrier because she wanted still a soft side, a fun, very cat. And realized that cats, when they are surrounded by catnip, tend to get very calm and relaxed. So through exploration, she found that she could build a larger cat carrier, could either be for a large cat or two cats, and the base of it was going to be plastic, a soft plastic that was infused with catnip. So it would, whenever they're in that carrier, they would be constantly smelling the wonderful scent of catnip. That technology exists to be able to infuse plastic or some kind of material that with a lasting smell. So she didn't start that way. She just said, I got a big cat. I need a bigger carrier. And it completely evolved into something over the course of the weeks of the course. So that's where the pain points come in too. I can't fit my cat in any carrier. I want to do a better job snowboarding, but I don't know what I should be doing on the run to improve my performance. I like to go camping, and I need to now figure out how can I project a movie, because boy, I love movies too, and I love TV, and I love to even just have fun and play games with my friends. I can't do any of that, in a big, I need a big screen. So think about those kinds of things. So let's look at the assignments. The first thing I want you to, even before class starts, because this is opened a week ahead of time, jump in with your interest in audience exercise. Create the customer canvas. Now, I want you to understand what I'm talking about with canvases or things like this. These are explained a little more in these videos, and they are all short. Believe me, they're like 3.5 minutes. You should watch them and stop and think about it. This is the customer canvas where it shows the jobs. So again, job was improve my ski performance. Job, have movies outside. Have movies anywhere I go with my phone. Fix, I want to take my cat with me places, but I can't because it doesn't fit in the carrier. Those are jobs. So there's the problem, is the pain point. I want to take my cat places, but the pain point is that cat is too big to fit in there and gets kind of distressed inside these carriers. And what would I gain? A better experience by being able to have a happier cat, have easier for me to get him into the carrier. What do I gain from that? This is that first exercise, okay? And these explain them a bit further. These were done by the author of the book. So I want you to first do it for Maud Pizza. And Maud Pizza is one we all know. It's in Factoria. In fact, a lot of us have probably been there. And so it helps you to think, what is the customer job? You're trying to get pizza. What's a pain point? Maybe it's long lines. Maybe they don't have flavors I like. Maybe the crust options aren't good. Maybe they, whatever it is you feel might be some addition. And what could they gain with those additional things? And then after that's done, and you go to each of these assignments, they're more clearly laid out, but then I want you to create a customer canvas with your idea. This is where you look at your interest and audience, your audiences that you are good at, that you know all of you have some interest, video games, whatever, it doesn't matter what that is. There's no judgment as to what the interest is or the audience you're going after. Just make sure that you pick an audience. I suggest you print out the canvas, handwrite out a bunch, and see what works for you. Just have fun with it. If you've got some friends around, talk about it. If you've got family nearby, talk about it. Just get creative and have some fun with it. And then complete the discussions. We do have discussions every week that help to get you to speak a little bit more. Sometimes they're always related to what's going on. All right, so these are a bunch of articles that I think are excellent. And here, for example, is something that I'd love you to take a look at. Trade shows are where companies launch their new product ideas. In shows like trade shows, which are purely business to business. So Consumer Electronics Show is one of the most famous. And CNET is a magazine that online magazine that covers the consumer electronics industry, and this is where the Microsofts on down to the smallest of the electronic style um, entrepreneurs come to show retailers what's out there, what they've come up with. This one is the one of the latest that everybody reviews what's out there. So it's where they generate excitement. In many cases, in the case of consumer electronics, even many of the things they show, they never actually do. So um, anyway, they never come to market, but they use this as a testing ground. On the other end of it is Outdoor Retailer, which is another great trade show. And so these are both reviews. So just give you an idea of some of the things that have been ignited. And here's the articles for those. Now, what I'd like to do is go here to the 10 great ways to generate a business idea. Now, you don't have to be generating a business idea, although you will turn any idea you have into a business at some point. This is old, but the concepts are really still very, very good. And where I'm talking about, we're not, you can look at these business ideas as well if you want to just spark it. And I don't care if you actually borrow another idea, just don't do it something that's already been completely created, because there's a lot of fun ideas. Again, for the purpose of the course, unless you're actually planning on creating the idea, you just need an idea to work with. So start with family. What business are they in? What are they doing? What can they teach you? What needs do they have? Ask them what's going on. Same with your friends. These all sound very simple, but we forget sometimes to talk about it and just say, hey guys, I need to come up with a fun idea. What do you think? Look for things that bug you. What around the house just doesn't work? What on your phone doesn't work? What doesn't work on your computer? What stalls you that you could fix? Again, you don't have to know how to fix it. Don't worry about that. You're not developing the product in this course. You just need to figure out, is there a pain point that you would love to see taken care of? These have some that are listed that you can look at. And then tap your own interests. That's always the best, because you know what the problems are in your industry, or your interests. If you love playing video games, you're going to know what that is. If you happen to be a really big social media person, maybe there's a problem with that. If you whatever interest you have, start there. Um, I don't expect you to travel, but think back to when you were traveling. Obviously, we're not traveling now, but think about any trips you've taken. What were some of the pain points? Lots of suitcases have been created because of this. Lots of fun ideas where suitcases become chairs, and then they also are charging stations. And then they also, when the whole bed bug idea was happening or came to life in New York and other places, where the suitcases heated up enough to kill any bed bugs before you got home. So think about what happened. Maybe when you're traveling, there's been maybe there was just something you ate somewhere that you thought, I could bring that here. Any of those things. Obviously, keep your eyes open. Um, Look at things that already exist that could be made better. That's another way to think about it. And then ask some friends. Ask some friends, sleep on it, think about it. go online, play around. These are all just basic ideas, but maybe one of these will help you in learning a little bit more about what you would like to use for the class. So let's look at these fresh ideas. Is this open? Don't know why this isn't coming open, but I'll open it. All right, looks like that link is not correct, so I will fix it. So don't worry about that. We'll just go back here. I'll get this fixed. But this again is just another way for you to look at your business ideas. So I will fix that one, but otherwise this is ready to go. And I'd like you to just look at these videos. Again, they're very short, a lot shorter than what I just went through, but this is a really important first section. So if you haven't already, please also remember that we need your introductions. And this is the discussion question. So everything's here in the modules, interest and audience exercise, 2 discussion questions because we're on an accelerated time frame. This is your mod pizza canvas. And again, literally I'm asking you to, get that canvas and type it in. And 3 discussions here. Again, all of these are short. Don't worry about it. And then your idea. Next week, we'll look at the second module. We'll be looking at defining that idea and taking it a little bit further. And I'll introduce the concept of patents and trademarks. All right. So thank you. And I look forward to seeing all of these this week.